Hello, welcome to the Flute 360 podcast, where we incorporate a panoramic view of flute-related topics. I am your host, Heidi K. Begay, and this is episode 141, a pile of wood, a door frame, a doorknob, and then a knock, part 3. Today's silver sponsor is brought to you by the Ultimate Music Business Summit.
Hey there. My name is Garrett Hope. I am a composer, coach, podcaster, and speaker. I've been focused on building my music business since the early 2000s and helping others build their music businesses since 2015. I want to tell you about a free event I'm organizing for January. It's called the Ultimate Music Business Summit. It'll take place January 7, 8, and 9. Here's the deal. Through the summit, I want to help you build your own stimulus package for 2021. There will be over 21 teachers giving over 21 high-leverage business lessons you can use in your music business immediately so you can make 2021 the best year for your music ever. If you want to make more money with your music, grow your audience, or impact more people, this summit is for you. More than that, there will be a few live panel discussions so we can discuss this in real time. It's going to be amazing. And yes, it's free. This summit will give you real-world, not theoretical, strategies you can implement immediately. I promise you, with all the teachers lined up, you'll get something you've never thought of before. Even though building a business is hard, and trust me, no one is promising it's easy. It is possible. You just need the right tools and strategies. Get your free ticket today and reserve your spot in the summit. Build your own stimulus package for 2021. I look forward to seeing you at the summit. Go to musicsummit.biz, that's musicsummit.biz, to get your ticket today.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Flute 360 podcast episode. I am so grateful that you have joined me today. If you have not subscribed to the podcast, feel free to do so right now because I don't want you to miss out on show note links. Also, I am personally inviting you to the Ultimate Music Business Summit that is held remotely January 7th through 9th. It's a perfect transition from this series into that summit because we have been talking these past 3 weeks about music business, entrepreneurial ideas, and having a paradigm shift. So the Ultimate Music Business Summit is all about that. It is 21 plus speakers where you get to pick their brain, listen to their presentations about how they have unfolded their music career in both traditional, conventional, and unconventional ways too. I get to present 2 topics at the summit about podcasting and about corporate sponsorships. So I would love it if you dove into that information with me and you were able to benefit from that content. If you have been listening to these last few episodes, you know that we've been talking about building your own door if opportunity does not knock. Check out episodes 139 and 140 so that way you get the full picture of what I've been talking about for this mini-series. Today's episode 141 concludes this 3-part series about creating opportunities for yourself. 2020 has been a whirlwind for all of us, musicians especially. We have lost in-person concerts, gigs, recitals, teaching events, and the list goes on and on. So if 2020 was a season that did not go as planned, then let's put on our creative caps and our thinking caps as we push into 2021. This year coming up can be incredible for you, even if it's something that you weren't anticipating. even if it was a different job or a different season that you had not planned for yourself. If we can plant those seeds now, create new opportunities, talk to those people now in this season, then amazing things can unfold for your life and for your career in 2021 and beyond. So if you've been checking out these last few episodes, you know that I've talked about my journey post-DMA and how 2020 with the Chinese job being canned blew up in my face, pretty much. And from that experience, I had to sit down, figure it out, and have loving people surround me and say, okay, we're going to take your skill sets, we're going to take your talents, the things you are good at, and then just pick them up, shift them 5-10 degrees, and refocus your energy and talents towards a new target. So I mentioned this, and I have been extremely vulnerable and open these last 3 episodes about that experience because I know I'm not the only one. I know there is at least one other person listening right now who is in a season of distraught, dismay, and hurt. I feel you. I totally get it. And so my encouragement for you today is you can reinvent yourself. It doesn't have to be a full 100% makeover. It might just be a tweak here or there. But by tweaking, by shifting, adapting, being flexible, amazing things can unfold for your life. And I want to root you on and cheer you on and say, yes, you can do it. So the last episode, I gave you a task, and that task is to reach out to 10 people who motivate you and inspire you. The reason why you're doing this is so that way you can create something from nothing. If you are looking around in your life right now and you're just unhappy, you're not satisfied with where you are at, then create something from nothing. What that means is you're going to create your own door, right? Because all the other doors you've been knocking at, they have not opened. Well, then create a new door for new opportunities to pass through. And in order to do that, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. I know it's scary. I know it hurts. I know it's painful. But guess what? Those growing pains are going to bring you an abundance of blessings for your life. I kid you not. I am so thankful that people who loved me were surrounding me during my time of dismay and thinking there's no light at the end of this tunnel. You know, when we are in pain, we can't see right in front of us. You know, the hand that's right in front of our face, just, you cannot see it because you're in pain and you're hurting and, you know, you're throwing your fit. I know I threw my fit. I mean, let's be real here, right? It's okay. It's good to release those toxins. It's good to mourn. But at some point, you have to pick yourself up and be courageous and fight a new fight and face a new day. So by reaching out to those people, amazing opportunities can unfold for your career that you perhaps didn't even anticipate. Little did I know, by putting together a microphone and an audio engineer and my love for sharing knowledge, because the teacher in me wanted to share, you wrap that up, mix it together in a bowl, and out comes a podcast. I mean, who would have thunk? So what resources do you have at your disposal that you can do the same thing for your career? Who are the friends, the music colleagues, the resources that you have at the touch of your fingertips to put together in a mixing bowl, stir it up, and out comes blank? I'm curious, who did you reach out to this past week? Who were your 10 people? If you want to message me through Facebook or Instagram, I would love to hear how those dialogues got started. I would love to see what unfolded from those conversations. And it may not be what you had anticipated, and that's okay. That's where the magic is. That's where the beauty is. So be open to new opportunities and new possibilities, because quite frankly, at least this is for my life, it may be better than what you had expected. It's so funny how we have these ideas in our head about my life, air quote, should look like this. My life, ... right? And we hold on to those goals so tightly. And that's great. It's great to have a focus and a target. You can't get anywhere if you don't have a vision, something in front of you to work towards. But if you're holding on to it too tight, then your blinders are up and you can't see what's possibly a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. You're going to miss out. And I don't want that to happen for you. So if you have not reached out to those 10 people who inspire you and motivate you to create a new project, do that this week and let me know all about it. Moving into this episode and concluding this series, I want to leave you with a few gold nuggets. First, I want to encourage you that the title of this series is a little deceptive. I have, this nice little title that says, here's some wood, here's your door frame, a doorknob, and then a knock. It's not necessarily true how those opportunities will unfold. Okay, so as you are building your new products, services, and offerings for, your new career or your new whatever, you may have people come, an opportunity pass through the door that's partially constructed. And I think that's okay. At least that's what's happening for me. So the minute I had that paradigm shift where my husband and my coach, Dr. Hope, are telling me, Heidi, shift 5-10 degrees, I willingly, unwillingly did so. Most of it was, temper tantrums, but there was some grace, hopefully, in the midst of all that. So as I was shifting and I noticed those opportunities that were around me, once I took those blinders off and I did notice those opportunities were around me, I started building. I started building classes. I started building relationships for corporate sponsorships. I started building summits. I started building, etc., right? And the minute I started hammering those nails into my door frame, people were passing through and saying, I want to buy that. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. I feel so blessed. Thank you. It's kind of like you're building and constructing an airplane and it's taking off and you're trying to put on the second wing so desperately before it gets to a high altitude. I say this because I just want to have you know that the title can be deceptive. You do not have to have all your ducks in a row for opportunity to pass through your partially built door frame. And I think there's so much beauty and magic in that. It's so crazy to watch that unfold right before your eyes. The other thing that I want to share with you today is share those nuggets that you learn along the way to others who are in the early stages of building their door. We're all in this together. And the more I mentor people through their door or starting to construct their door, the more I learn. and the more gratification and satisfaction I get from helping people pick up their hammer. So I encourage you to do the same. You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to have all your ducks in a row to help somebody. We're all in this together. Think of Mount Everest. I'm making up this number. I have no idea. Say there are 10 summits from ground zero all the way to the peak of the mountain. Okay? You might be on your journey from summit 3 to 4. Guess what? There are summits 0 through 4 of people on their voyage to exactly the point where you are currently at. You can help summit 0s to summit 4s with the knowledge you have gained along your path, along your journey. So I encourage you to consider this, because the more you give, the more you share, the more you're going to learn. So I encourage you to reach out to those who are in the early stages of building their door, because somebody probably surrounded themselves around you to help you. And so if you can do the same thing for somebody else, how amazing would that be? And the last thing I want to leave you with today is complacency. So yes, it's very scary. It is extremely nerve-wracking to build that door from nothing. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what it's going to lead you to, what path it's going to put you on, but that's okay. I would much rather be afraid of creating something new in which I don't know the results, rather than being complacent in Groundhog's Day. Take your God-given talents that He lovingly gave you and put them to use. I'm not saying every season is all about work, work, work. I am the first one to admit that I have seasons in my life where they have been seasons of rest and seasons of mourning. And that's okay. If that's where you are at, that is fine. But if you need somebody to perk you up and say, time for something new, and that's in your heart, then those are the people I'm talking to. So if you are afraid, say you want to create something new, a new class, a new offering, a new PDF, a new ebook. Say you have that inkling in your heart and you're just like, oh, yeah, but that's scary. Think about how scary it is to be complacent, to be sitting on those God-given talents and letting them rot. For me, yes, I get a little, butterflies in my stomach when I think about creating a new class, because I don't know if people are going to enroll. I don't know the success of that class. But I would much rather be a little bit on edge about this or that for the class than not trying at all. Being complacent to me scares the bejeebies out of me to the umpteenth degree. So if that is scary and I'm not going towards that goal because I'm too fearful, ask yourself then, am I okay then sitting in this place for X amount of time? Interesting, right? So that concludes today's episode. I hope that gave you new insight as you're venturing into building that new door for your life. I encourage you to not be complacent. I encourage you to push forward into 2021. And I encourage you to help and mentor other people who are starting along their path too. And as a friendly reminder, I would love to see you at the January Ultimate Music Business Summit, which is held January 7th through 9th. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Speaking of January, I am stoked about the lineup that is coming into Flute 360's lineup of guests for January 2021. I get to talk with flute shop owners, and I get to pick their brain about what inspires them and their music business entrepreneurial ideas for the new year. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time. Today's bronze sponsor is brought to you by Violi. Music can always soothe people during a challenging time, but online music lessons may not always be pleasant due to various problems. For example, poor audio quality for instruments during video calls. Well, with the Violi app, the experience of virtual music classes may be greatly improved. Violi app is just like a virtual music classroom. It connects music teachers and students through a remote music class and music practice. Live Class, which is Violi's app's video call feature, is specially designed for online music lessons. It can perfectly transmit the sound of musical instruments. Smart Audition, a feature designed for music practice, can track the user's playing and automatically evaluate the intonation and rhythm. Accompaniments and ensembles, which are contained in most music scores, can be played along at any tempo and volume. As a music education app, Violi has more features worth exploring. Guess what is thrilling? The Violi app is free for every music educator. Music students can redeem a 1-month Violi Premium for free by sending feedback using the words Flute 360 to the Violi team. Thank you for listening to the Flute 360 podcast. Please subscribe to the Flute 360 newsletter by going to HeidiKBegay.com. A pop-up will appear and you can enter in your information for the weekly newsletter. The newsletter includes great incentives, updates, and perks to the subscribers. Go ahead to HeidiKBegay.com and sign up today. Thank you. Let's talk about flute.